welcome to Pen or a Goal podcast, episode number 8. My name is Shane.
My name's Dean, and today we're joined by
Martin Eastwood. How are you getting on? What's the crack?
All good.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, lads. Pleasure.
Before we jump in, Martin, I just want to give a shout out to something here. Jimmy Bell was on our first guest, and a couple of people reached out to us about addiction and the Starlight Project, and how they would get in touch if they needed to. So it's Easy Street Star Project. It's based in the Access Centre in Ballymun here. The team are Tanya, Cathy, Mark Davis, Mark Sutton, Angie and Jimmy. If you do need help with addiction and stuff like that, reach out to the team on the Access landline 01883 2100, or walk in and ask for any of the team for any substance related issues. We'll post down below as well under there we go. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Savage.
So how are you on anyway, Martin?
Oh, I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing
Knocked
good.
us off.
Life is good. Nothing to complain about at the moment. Keeping the head up, working hard.
Yeah.
I've seen the story.
Happy to be here with you two gentlemen, you know what I mean?
I seen the story with the Rolex earlier on your Instagram page. I said to Shane, you grab his hand, I'll get this off.
I should have took that off before I came in here.
Lock the door.
When I was coming in here, the boys were looking at me, so we're going to hide that in there.
we were lining you up a few hours ago before you even came in.
They'll have me robbed at a heartbeat, yeah.
He's in there, own that leave.
Well, you're going to get me robbed now.
He's in there, own that leave.
Target on me back now all around the place.
It's not out till next year.
Yeah, it's good. You'll be
God.
long gone.
Thank God. I will be long gone, lad. We'll be across the Atlantic Ocean by next week, so don't worry about it.
And that's only because we said about the watch.
And that's literally it.
It's been a pleasure having you on, Martin.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
I suppose you want to start on your journey. Start us off from school. Or
Yes, sir. Where do I start? I suppose at this stage in life, I'm 31, entrepreneur, Dublin, Ireland. 31, I'm getting on. I'm getting old. But most people probably know me from, I've done a good few solid years of acting the maggot on few TV shows and social media. But one of the first businesses I actually started was a sweet shop in my ma's front garden when I was 11 years old. So when all the other boys were out playing football on the road, I was like Scrooge McDuck or whatever his name is. I was up the Fairley House Market getting stocked with the sweets, had an extension cable out the garden, the cash register in the front garden, selling gone off chocolate bars to the kids. And that's past the statute of limitations, so you can't sue me now. But it was a typical entrepreneur story, you know, and that's kind of how it started for me. Different businesses like that, proper. I don't say Del Boy, but you know,
from the start or from the get go, up in Musgraves getting the sweets.
Getting the sweet. Musgraves too expensive. You know what I mean? I had to go to Fairley House Market.
The price of them fillage, you want to put them down, I tell you.
Say you were buying all the fillets.
The price of the things, they are mental there.
60 quid now.
I used to pay €27 for them, and they're like 60 quid now.
Jesus Christ, you'd be better killing your own chickens.
Me dad.
I was just about to say like that.
I'm sending them out. I am next week.
I was at home last week listening to that episode, right? And when I heard about your dad on the last episode there, it was the last episode or the week before?
The week before.
Ringing turkeys next for £1 a piece. I was like, I was in shock. And
you don't want to be unfit, like when you're not chasing turkeys and you broke.
He's some man, isn't he? He's some man.
I didn't
Mick
even
Carter, shout out.
I didn't even know that
Sexy
he'd
prick.
done
We're
that.
out the course on this. Love Mick. He's a great lad.
Let's say what you want on this. There's not that many followers, alright. We'll say what we want.
Yeah, but there will be though. It's in a year or two when you have thousands and thousands of people following you, that fuckers will be pulling stuff out of the archives to bleed and hang you. You know what I mean? That's what happens. 100%.
No better man to hang on anyway.
There you go.
Laugh, rough, cancel me.
Cancel me, I dare you.
Yeah. So going into were you working for a company at all, or was it always your own businesses?
Yeah, it's a good question there. I had two jobs, if that's the word, right? I was the worst employee ever, right? Nobody should have ever given me a job. But at 15 years of age, I worked as a lounge boy collecting glasses in the Village Inn / Jolly Topper in Finglas Village. €5.40 an hour was my salary. and I used to go off and hide in the toilet for about 30-40 minutes at a time, and they called staff meeting about it, like saying somebody is hiding in the toilet.
Somebody.
So I don't know how long I lasted in there. That was a bit of crack. And the only other actual job I had was I worked in a spar shop. I think I was moving up in the world. I was getting about $6.10 an hour at that stage, and I just walked in one day and they just sacked me. So it's like, right, better do my own thing. Thank God I did.
Yeah, we understand. Sitting there.
Clue, have to go myself now, yeah.
Get out of here quick, yeah. I was the worst employee ever. I don't blame them. I would have fired myself.
I would have sacked myself.
I would have sacked myself, 100%.
And even the likes of coming out with your own business, was that a thought from an early age, or was it a thing that just was spontaneous?
Yeah, it was kind of a natural thing, you know. It comes back to the old debate, right? And I don't know what you think. Like, being an entrepreneur, being someone that starts your own business, is that something that you're born with, or is it something that like you develop? And that's kind of the question there, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I was always doing something entrepreneurial. The sweet shop, selling newspapers. I used to cut grass in the summertime, and I made a lot of money at that. I got my own lawnmower and started cutting grass. So I was always like had a business on the go.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like it was just a natural progression. It was always going to happen that way for me, like, you know. But I was always interested to think, is it something that people are born with, or is it something that, you know, they develop through the years, you know? And I haven't found an answer to that question yet.
Yeah, it's kind of, it could be a mix in between, but it's a hard one to discover.
Did you go to college?
I did, yeah, I did. It wasn't really useful for me with you know, doing a business or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, I can understand certain professions, like if you're going to be a doctor or something like that, you know what I mean? Or yeah, it might be useful to you. I studied music technology in college, and you know, it was good crack because through the years I was involved in the music world, like writing songs, managing a band, doing all that sort of stuff, you know. So I just had me hand in all the boys. Scrooge McDuck Eastwood, they're calling me now. Hashtag that there, yeah.
Hands in all the jars.
Scrooge Eastwood, hashtag. I hope that doesn't stick.
Once I get something, I'm happy.
So music is probably
At the time it was, yeah. I lived for the music. I done some mad stuff back in the day. I was like a rapper at the time. I used to write my own like rap songs. A lot of it was comedy, skit kind of stuff, yeah.
Guido has a rap.
And have you got a rap?
Oh, I'm not rapping.
You're not rapping?
No. Yeah, I've done this.
Had you got a rap? No way. I want to hear
that. We were yoked in the record. No, I haven't. I'll get one.
Send that to me afterwards.
I'll send it, yeah.
That sounds like a bit of crack.
It was like sitting in the flats living with the rats.
I've heard that song. Have I heard that song?
I was rapping in the record. We were doing a thing in the record.
Viral or something?
Probably fucking. There were CDs and anyway.
Yeah. I think I'm nearly sure I heard that
sitting
song.
In the flat living with the rats, but really I was sitting in the gaff, no friends.
Like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us.
Bunch of loners, all
like
of
to
us.
pretend. I just used to carry the football around, so the lads had to let me play.
Or my ball, or I'm going home.
No one's playing if I'm not playing, and I'm being force picked as well. Yeah,
that's the thing.
You were always into the likes of, you were into rapping and singing, were you?
Yeah, I was.
I seen the likes of a few actually your raps on YouTube and a few your videos.
Yeah, that's right. I was so just after I finished school, I went to college for the first time, and that was in Dunleary Further Education Institute, they called it. But what happened was I had this bleeding terrible attitude that I carried over from school, you know. During the last couple of years of school, I just wasn't really bothered with it, to be honest. I had no interest in it, you know. But I carried that attitude over with me into college, like I've basically like do just enough, and just enough will get you through. And I fucking fell on my face and I failed college the first time. And that set me back. That cost me 2 years of my life because I couldn't start again that September because the course was full. So I had to go another the following September. So that cost me 2 years of my life, but it turned out to be the best 2 years possible. It was well worth it. So during that time, I ended up moving to Belfast for 6 months, living with like this random family. I've got some funny stories about that. But it's just mad. We were just living in this random family's gaff in Belfast around the corner from the Falls Road, doing a music, I think it was production and technology course. And during that time, I was lying in my bedroom upstairs. I had another lad, funny enough, his name was Dane, sound fella. And he lived in the gaff with me. We were both staying there from Dublin, and we were in my room chilling out one day, and we seen this. We're on YouTube acting bollocks. Seen this video to Lisa last call for X Factor auditionees. So I was like, at the time I had this rap song, many rap songs that I recorded from when I was 16. That stage I was like 18 and a half, 19. And I said, well, I send it in for the crack. And he says, yeah, go on. And long story short, bleeding, ended up in Manchester Arena in front of 10,000 people singing about my local curry shop, Hoi Wan.
You're on the Hoi Wan.
Yup, Chris Ling, the owner of Hoi Wan. Hoi Wan is the sexiest curry shop in all the land. I just want to put that out.
That's a fact.
That's a big fact.
That's a fact, isn't it?
Not every week, but every few weeks.
I love a Hoi Wan.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It's a great curry shop, Hoi Wan.
It really is a crack.
It's so consistent every week.
It is consistent.
That's the thing that makes it.
It's
so consistent every week.
And because I mentioned Hoi Wan in the song on their X Factor, gave them a shout out. And every time, I remember our first time going into Hoi Wan after the X Factor thing went out, and I ordered chicken curry or whatever. And I tried to put my money behind the counter. I never forget this. Your man just looked at me and said, "Oh, no, Martin. I treat you long time." I said, "Fuck," I said, "fair play, thanks very much, you know." But apparently, like, the phones in Hoi Wan lit up that night like that, and it lasted for a long time. To this, like, not today, well, to a certain extent, yeah. People still talk about it. Like, it's just mad, you know.
Yeah.
It's
you're taking the credit for it. That's Hoi Wan's Hoi Wan because of Martin.
Can't take the credit for that. Hoi Wan is great. It's a great shop.
Hoi Wan is.
Fair play.
I love Hoi Wan.
And if there's anyone listening to this who are not from Dublin or Finglas, like they're missing out. They're like, what's this Hoi Wan place?
Just chicken curry?
That's me go-to. Chicken curry, chips, rice. I'm a creature of habit, Shane, you know. I'm a fucking nightmare I am, to be honest.
Mine is always, we always get the meal deal thing out of chicken balls, curry. It's fucking lovely.
Well, hang on a second. You two boys, right, are talking about curries like you love it as much as I do. Yet you're sitting here in the boat, you're bleeding ripped muscles and all that. Now hang on a second. What's the excuse, boys? How is that possible?
My chicken's died from muskrats. It's on the slide.
He's looking for a sponsorship deal. He is. He's looking for a sponsorship deal.
You have to go out jogging for 4 hours before you have a curry.
All your clients are listening now.
It's a missus' fault. That's all I'm saying.
I wish I could blame my missus.
I have to blame somebody.
You have to do it. You know what I mean? Like
same with Easter, bro. The Easter eggs.
The Easter eggs, yeah. Jeez, didn't have one Easter egg this year.
Did you not?
No. Did you have them?
Would you rather? We had a thing last week. Would you rather your eggs? Would you rather your chocolate in the fridge or the press?
Oh, I think it depends on the chocolate now.
Yeah. You're not gonna put a crunchy in the fridge.
Fuck no.
Or plain dairy milk too hard.
What would you put?
I don't mind the caramel bars being in the fridge. The dairy milk caramel comes out there.
I like a bit of caramel now, yeah.
Caramel's a cracker. No, right there.
Who said freezer? Someone said freezer.
Get O'Neill.
Was it Get? Said freezer?
Yeah.
That's another sexy prick. How you get?
Straight into the freezer.
I see him walking along the road all the time there.
Some babies after losing some weight.
Yeah, thanks to yourself, I believe. He looks terrific, fair play to him.
He keeps saying thanks to me for helping him, but I always say to him that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink.
Well, that's,
so you can tell them what to do, but they put in the work, basically, you know what I mean?
Fair play.
It's like everything in life as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like you can't...
It's all about the work, isn't it?
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
rate.
You know what I mean?
So, talking about work rate, how's them horses at Cheltenham with you? My dad told me to bring her up.
Stop the Cheltenham Festival, yeah.
How did you get on over in Cheltenham?
No, it was all right now, you know. I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble really at all, you know. Like, but my dad, he loves Cheltenham. He loves the horses. So once a year, me and him, we usually go over to the Cheltenham Festival. I decided this year, last year, I went off my own intuition and I lost every single race. I didn't get a single winner. Now, I wouldn't be betting huge money. I'm there for the crack. And I wouldn't do a bet for the rest of the year after. But I actually, on another subject, I went to Las Vegas and I didn't even do one bet. But I'm ashamed of that, so we won't talk about that. But anyway, I got a few winners because I was following your man Pro Sports Advice. The lad from Loud, Rob, yeah, I don't know him personally, but fair play to him, I have to say. I'm not a gambler, as I said, but I followed just for that month alone, and he gave out like a lot of tips that he gave out were bang on. So shout out to that guy. He's very good.
You know, free tips as well. Every couple of videos as well.
That's right.
So what are you saying? If you want to lend, he's had to win that channel. He's had to win a few quid.
I didn't me, but
double lock that door. Burn that down.
The watch is gone. the jacket's gone. Everything's the hat. Gone.
You'll see me walking down the Ballymore Road with that hat. My dad told us, bring out Cheltenham. See, he went out to Cheltenham, we did with his dad.
Yeah, I know. And I don't even think, I don't know how I done it, but I think I managed to bleed and lose money. Even though I was winning a few, I don't even think I won, but it's just for the crack for
me.
I was
going off TikTok fucking videos, so I seen TikTok, he was saying, and people arguing in the comments saying, oh no, this horse going to be, I was like, oh, he sounds serious about that, what's going to be that horse, so I'm going with him.
But you know what it is, like Mick said it there on your other episode there, like the bookies always win, you know what I mean? In the long run, like, you know, there's no winning in that game.
Either mentally
it's a
or
mug's
to get
game.
you, either way, like to get you regardless, like.
So taking it back a bit, Martin, we could have jumped from...
What getting excited?
Your first business, it's like this the one you own now.
Oh yeah. So the main business I run now, and I have done for a long time, is called Wide Variety Events, and I have Wide Variety Media as well. So essentially, Wide Variety Events, the first business I started, it was opened on the 27th of July 2015, coming on 9 years now at the moment. And I got back from Wales, rented an office and just got right down to it. So basically what we do is we do event services for everything from weddings, parties, corporate events, right up and down the Republic of Ireland and sometimes Northern Ireland. And yeah, that's basically it. That's 9 years now.
What's 9 years going?
What did it take
to
get from like starting to
basically building your business so big? Like, obviously it's hard.
Yeah, it was. Let me think back on it now. Like, I suppose it took a lot of self motivation and self learning. So I remember at the start, I fucking hadn't got a penny to me name, you know. I've been in that position a good few times over the years because, you know yourself, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, these things can happen. But anyway, so I started with practically nothing. I got a lend of €300 from my ma to rent for the first month's rent in this tiny little office in Glasnevin. I had no customers, no reputation, I had no brand, I had no business, I had no money, I had fuck all. From zero, literally from scratch. So I remember the first particularly year or so, I used to go down to the office in the morning, about 6:30, 7 in the morning, the first one there, lift the shutter, go upstairs, and I went through this process of teaching myself how to market a business, and what I landed on was social media, and that's how I built the business, social media advertising, and that's how I took the business from nothing to something. I would credit the success of the business probably 80% social media advertising at the time, and that was early days, you know, like social media back then, 9 years ago.
Yeah, it was hard to do.
100%.
Yeah, it was hard to do social media.
But Bebo, no, that was just gone. I was on Bebo years ago. But I will say something, because there's probably like someone listening to this who is thinking of starting a business or is early on in starting a business. Like, sometimes it's a bit luck to a certain extent, but it's also sometimes you have to think outside the box in terms of how you're going to get yourself ahead. And I'll give you one example of that. So I always knew that Wide Variety at that stage was going to be like a sort of what I said was a party planning business at the time. Now I know it's an event services business. But to give you an example, the main products and services I was shifting at the start were kind of low cost items such as DJ, balloons, catering, things of that nature. And I remember one day I got a phone call in the office from a lady who asked me, do you guys hire out LED dance floors, which is like light up dance floors? I didn't even know what the fuck that was. So I was like, what the fuck is an LED? I was like, 1 second there, and I just Googled it. I was like, I'll ring you back in a second. Right, so I knew there was a market for this, and then I discovered this product is selling for like hiring out for €600 a night, which even back then is like, that's a lot of money. So I told her I'd be back to her in a minute. I went onto Google, typed in LED dance floors, found this company, and I won't say the name of the company because they're still a competitor, but it was run by a lovely fella called Derek, and Derek since sold the company, a very nice guy. But I rang Derek and I basically told him that I set up this new business called Wide Variety. I said, listen, would you hire your dance floor to us? Would you let us hire your dance floor for 500 and we're going to sell it for 600? And he said, yeah, sure, Martin, go ahead. Just like that. It was so simple. I was like, right, deal. Rang the lady back. Fucking told her, yeah, we have an LED dance floor. It's just going to be €100 deposit. And then she's like, do you have LED love letters as well? I was like, shit, right, back to Derek. Right, I was like, yeah, now it's going to be a 150 deposit. Right, no problem, I'm ready to pay. Couldn't believe it. I was in shock, right? So the lady was on the phone. I got my card machine out, I had the credit card machine out, put the code in, I made 150 quid pure profit.
Yeah, from doing
and I was like, fuck, I just made 150 quid by taking a phone call, and I'm not even the one who has to go and do the work now at this stage. And I just couldn't believe it. And it's like a penny dropped for me at that moment. So I spent the next few months selling services that I didn't even have because I partnered with external companies till I got to the point where I passed €50,000 in secured bookings by non-refundable deposits. I went into Bank of Ireland in Finglas. I sat down with the local business advisor. At this stage I was trading for about 7 or 8 months, and I said to her, listen, I explained the whole setup that we're just had been talking about, and I told her, listen, I've 50 odd thousand, wherever it was, in bookings here, secured by non-refundable deposits, I said, and if I don't get funding to purchase this equipment, then I'm going to have to give away all the business elsewhere, or if you guys will give me €15,000, I'll put $5,000 to it. And at that stage I had saved up $5,000, and then I said, we can buy the equipment, and then we're going to keep all the money in, and we're going to grow Bank of Ireland, blah blah blah. And approximately, I don't think it was 3 days later or so, she rang me and she said, congratulations, Martin, loans had to be approved. It's the fastest loan I've ever seen Bank of Ireland issue for a company that's trading not even 9 months. And I was like, fucking happy days, we're in. So I was in New York City, in Manhattan, 2016, and I remember being in the hotel room when the money landed, and I took that 15 grand, 5 grand I had myself, I wired the money to the companies for the equipment, and never looked back. That was
That's it.
You just kept growing and
growing from there, my dream at the start was one day if I can make €1,000 a week. I was like, fuck, if I can just make €1,000 a week. I remember walking along with my friend Quinner, along town in Dublin city centre. I was like, Quinner, if I can make €1,000 a week, I'm going to be a big dick baller. He was like, yeah. And I passed that long ago pretty quickly, and I was delighted, I was chuffed. I was honestly chuffed.
And all it took was that, like, one phone call.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is out there, like, isn't it?
It was that's how easy it is. If you just, one move away from everything changing, it's just outrageous what can be done, Like, if you have, the biggest thing is, and I learned this in hindsight, if you have the drive to succeed, right, that is the most important thing, because you'll find a way. You'll always find a way. Now, if you find yourself at the moment in a position where you're battling depression or grief or all these kinds of things, well, you're going to have to deal with that first to free yourself up and then go for it. Because if you can have a clear head and have a bit of ambition behind you, there's no limit on what you can do, and that's the God's honest truth. You don't need nothing. Well, what drove me at the time was I was young. I never had any tragedy in my life. I was very lucky at that stage. I made it to that age without going through close deaths for friends, family members. I was very fresh, and I don't know, I had the drive for success, and nothing was in my way at that stage. I wouldn't let anything be in my way, that kind of way. But I understand that if people are in a position in life now where they're going through things and people are dying around them and all that sort of stuff, that's the hard part. But there is a way out of that. When you get to the other side of that, all you need is a drive to succeed. And if you have the drive to succeed, nothing is stopping you, and that's the best part. That's the exciting part. Like, there's no limit in life, you know. You can get wherever you want. That's what's exciting about it, you know.
It's definitely not easy, especially building, even the likes for yourself, building up followings on trying to build, to get out there. It's trying to build is hard. We know that from online coaching. It's to try build it out or try to go up there. Like, you think you're gonna coach and then straight away have say 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. As much as you think.
One button.
Why do we course all the content? See, when you see all the views and you're looking saying, all they have to do is like it. And I wouldn't mind it. It's the cunt that doesn't like it after watch about 1,000 times saying fuck that prick. He's after saying that wrong. He's after doing this wrong.
You get the haters, that's for sure. 100%.
That's one of the big
but
things.
It is, you're right about saying, you know, it's a process. And I think if you expect something to happen overnight,
what I was trying to say.
Forget about it. It's not going to happen. You need to be patient, but also I think you need to be patiently aggressive, like pushing, but being patient with the fact that alright, this is going to take a few years, and it's fine, you know. You make a lot of mistakes along the way as well, like you know, you make a lot of mistakes along the way. And you do. Exactly.
Makes you stronger.
100%.
Mentally stronger, and we're just going back, we're going to go back to your X Factor experience here.
Rock and roll.
Any X Factor, like what way were you treated when you went to the X Factor? Like had you to queue up, or like I had to queue up, or what was the process when you're getting on?
It's a good question. Well, the only thing I can speak of is the process at the time when I was there. You know. Sorry, excuse me. Woohoo! A bit of wind coming through there. That's a sign of a good coffee. The process for me was I sent in a video audition, got approved. After that, I flew to London, done two. Let me get this right. Two auditions in one day. The first was a standard audition in front of a panel of, I think it was 3 people. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. And in the same day, then I made it past that stage, and then I had to do an a cappella audition for someone from Simon Cowell's record label, which was just some crack. It was just me. Like, they must imagine that's how, you know, fucking agents like myself getting through. You know what I mean? Like, they know they're creating good TV. But so that was the next step, and she, like, everyone loved it, right? But because they thought they knew it was this gonna make funny TV. So got the green light on that. I can't remember. It was after I left London. They said, you're selected or whatever. About a week or two later, found myself in Manchester, and that was for a live audition in front of all the judges and thousands of people at Manchester Arena. In terms of secrets, production secrets, I signed the contract, so please don't sue me. But it's nothing too bad, like, really, you know. Like, for instance, you know the shot at the X Factor where there's thousands of people and the queues outside? That's actually the audience, and they plant the auditionees in there with their number on them. So all the auditionees are already backstage chilling out or wherever, which is kind of cool as well. You don't have to wait in the queue or whatever, you know. With your families as well, you're backstage. So that's one thing. And there was something else, I think, like the judges arrive in cars, but a lot of times they arrive in their own cars, but then they're put into the fancy car to drive around, like, so, you know. So they were all flying around backstage and doing buggies and all, but no complaints. Like, everyone was nice, you know. They were actually very nice. And Caroline Flack, she was a lovely woman as well. I spent a few minutes with her, you know. Sad what happened to her a few years ago. But there was one thing as well. And again, it's a long time ago, but the executive producer asked to speak with me separately afterwards, and he spent a good bit of time with me. And then later on, I can't remember who, somebody said to me, I think he was picking between you and this other fella to host one of the shows, and the other fella turned out to be Rylan. So I missed the golden goose.
I could have been Rylan.
Botox, eyebrows, get it all done. I wouldn't change it for the world. So I'm happy how everything worked out in the end.
Everything happened for a reason. I was saying, you won the X Factor, no, were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
How did you find the likes of that?
Good, yes, same thing, really, you know what I mean? They had a separate interview with me on that and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So,
but it was a good experience.
Well, the whole thing was a great experience. What was very strange was, don't know whether you remember, but back in 2012, that show was huge.
It was.
So the second I left the house the next morning, I was famous. And it was just wild, like everybody, you couldn't go anywhere with
fingers like that.
What was that like?
it was just strange. Do you know when you're walking along, like, oh, there's fucking hell, there's your man off the telly, you know? It's just weird, it's a very strange experience, but it was a bit of crack as well.
Yeah.
And the free high one helped.
It was all for free.
I love you, Chris Ling. Did it for you, baby.
It was all for free high one, huh?
Yeah, it's mad though. It's a strange experience, like, you know.
And then first dates.
You've been on a few, haven't you?
Yeah, done a few. Yeah, I became a bit.
First dates happen, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an accident. Funny enough, yeah. You know the way they filmed that show in the Gibson Hotel there, across from the Tree Arena. I was attending a charity event for the homeless community one day in that hotel, and we noticed that the set was up or whatever. Like, oh, my friend Mary Claire turned around to me and said, "Oh, Martin, come on and we take a Snapchat of you walking up to the restaurant and we pretend you're on first dates." I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a bit of crack." We sat on the thing and all, and then I posted it, but then like I got about 50 messages like, "Oh, fuck, I can't wait to see it, Martin. You're going to be great on first dates." It's like, "Oh, shit." So I just applied for the show before I left the event that day, and they emailed me to come in, and I fucking thought it was hilarious, and all of a sudden I'm fucking on first dates now as well. It's mad.
What's your man like, the fella at the
very
walking
nice
the door?
lad,
What's his name?
Yeah, Matteo. I believe.
Matteo, yeah,
very nice man.
I
Yeah.
think of Fred from the English.
Yeah, that's
you get mixed up easy.
Matteo does a good job on that.
He does a great job. He's sound. He is. Yeah, and everyone on that show was bang on. To be honest with you, you know what I mean.
How
So,
did they go?
not ideal.
He's not, were you?
No, it wasn't ideal at all. But it wasn't ideal for either of us. Actually, we still follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gas. I think it's funny to look back and be like, oh, that's hilarious. But no, she was a nice girl, but it was total like fucking opposites of what I'm pretty sure what either of us wanted. You know what I mean? So no, it was just a flop. But look, we had a bit of crack. And
what is it like? You fill in what your ideal.
they ask you point blank, what's your ideal girl? So I described like what my typical ideal girl was, and then they gave me the opposite. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know whether they were setting us both up for failure or intentionally,
for TV.
whether they were saying, well, he hasn't been successful this far, so maybe like. You know,
you're still asking yourself the question: what were they trying to do?
What were they trying?
What was their intentions?
Yeah. They knew I'd make good TV. They know this fella's fucking nuts.
See that when the bill comes, or say there has to be.
Yeah, I knew that the date was gone nowhere, and that we were both going to say no. I was going to say no anyway, and. So the bill comes, and the way it works, again, another production say they give you a €20 contribution.
Is that what it is? I thought I got told by someone that they paid the full thing, so obviously it's not a chance. They give you €20, is it?
And I was curious, so I said, why €20?
Yeah, why is that?
And they said, well, we just give you that as a contribution because we want, when the bill comes, we want to simulate a real date. Right? Good excuse for being cheap. No offence, Coco Productions. But so when the bill came out, I was like, oh no, well look, I'll pay for this as a gentleman. Like I would pay for a bill regardless of whether I was bringing you home to how you getting on for a bit of
how was your Sunday
dinner? For a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But jeez, that's mad. But so anyway, she said, oh no, we'll split. And like I knew, like if you want to split, I was like, oh, that's grand, because like I didn't give a fuck about the money, but it's just like we both knew like this is going nowhere, you know. And after the date, when I got in this taxi, and your man says, RT, you're paying for this. Do you mind if I take the long way home? Whatever you want, they said, and drop me to the pub. Rolled into the full chilling with me mates. How did it go? It was a fucking disaster. Give me a few points. Lashed the drinker. We had a bit of crack, but it's not an experience. You know, it's great to look back on all that and just think, fucking hell, man.
That you done that.
You know, it's just. And I'd do anything, to be honest. I would do anything because
a lot of confidence.
And it's just I've got this thing, right, and I'm very lucky with it. I think it's a superpower. But I could go up on a stage. If you said to me now, there's a stage outside and there's 1 billion people standing there, I would not break a sweat to stand on that stage, and no problem. It'd come off the tongue like that because I just don't really care what anyone thinks about me. So I don't give a fuck. You know,
it's actually a good thing that you said that, because there's 100 lads waiting outside now. So can you stand outside?
Not a bother. Let's go. Just lock up the watch.
But even then, I was saying, did you ever see people that that say no, I'm not paying, or some forget their wallets and all. But surely half of that has to be staged for cameras.
It could be. Yeah, fairness, like it could be. You know,
like I tell you, one going on day first thing you're checking is you have your wallet, because that's the embarrassing thing you want.
100. Come here, what's the excuse these days? You have Revenue, Apple Pay, and all.
Use your watch, use your everything.
You can't get away with it. You know what I mean?
Only short of having a barcode on yourself. Only short of having a barcode now on yourself.
God knows it'll probably go that way. You know,
it is mad.
But you know, with the whole thing of trying to get rid of cash, I think that's a lot of shite.
No.
Like that's shite now. So if you're listening to this, use cash. Keep the cash alive.
The tax man is rubbing his hands.
Keep the cash alive, you know.
Cash is king, keep it flowing.
And bank fees and all that as well on cards. You know, it's a control mechanism, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's I personally think that, you know, not to get into conspiracy theories or anything like that, but if everyone's using card in the traditional banking system, then everyone is fully controllable. And the government and everyone else can see exactly what you're spending your money, where you're spending your money, how much money you're spending. So, I mean, I believe everyone should have the right to a bit of privacy with how they spend their money as well.
Where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, that wasn't me in that strip club in Temple Bar last week.
That £1,000.
That wasn't me, Veronica. That's what she said her name was. I'm joking.
Cash was king when I showed her.
Cash. And my missus is at home now watching this. And like, you shut up, you little red. I'm going to get milk tonight. With the help of God. Be home soon, baby.
And even at that, you end up on the Late Show and everything, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I remember how that came about. That was fucking fantastic. What a time to be alive. It's every Irish person's dream to be on the Late, because it's just like thing. Mad, some crap. But I was sitting in Costa one day, right, having a coffee, and I used to do a lot of, like, just I'd bring my laptop in, work away in there, you know. And anyway, somebody just rang me and just, how are you? I'm what's his name? Very nice man. I think his name is Ronan. And he says, I'm a producer on the Late Show. Ryan Tubridy wants to know, do you want to come on Friday night? I was like, you tell Ryan Tubridy that I will be there with bells. I was buzzing. And I was delighted. And then I went up with my cousin Jenny to Blanchardstown shopping centre. I bought a new suit. And I swear I was sitting there in Starbucks drinking a coffee about 2:30. I had to be on the show. Get to the show at 7. And I was chilling, like, it was no bother. But it was a good time. And that was some crack, that show. I brought my friend Quinno with me. He was backstage and we were having the shits and giggles with John C. Reilly from Step Brothers. And we had a good laugh with him now. So he thought I was fucking hilarious. I don't know why. It's probably the Irish accent and all. But the way it works in the green room backstage, everyone's watching the show live as it happens. And Quinno said that when I was on, your man John C. Reilly was busting his bollocks laughing at me, like him and Quinno were on the Heineken. And it's great crack. And it was good. It was good. Yeah.
That's one to look back at always. That.
Like, you'll never forget that.
Yeah, it's everybody's dream to be on late. Like.
Yeah, you know, it was great. It was a great profile booster at the time for business and everything like that as well. You know, like it's a good thing to be you know, seen on those shows. And yeah. And then so I built my profile up to a certain point. TV shows, social media, radio, podcasts, all that. And then I just went off the face of the radar for 4 years. Off the face of the world, should I say, for 4 years. So I'm coming back, baby. Let's go.
Back with a
I'm launching it right here on the Pen or Go podcast.
And talking about these ambitions as well. Shane sent me a thing earlier on saying this is what we should be doing. And he sent me a picture of you gonna trade off the car to get up the followers on the
yeah. That's right, and that was a very successful PR campaign back in the day.
Ryan doesn't know. You were trying to reach 1,000 followers.
That's
on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, never did. So it was good. Again, I was sitting in the coffee shops where all my good ideas come. Like, that's what I told you. I love coffee. I don't normally. This is my 5th coffee of the day. So thanks, boys. This is my 5th. I know. I don't normally. I normally have 2, but I've been extra excited today because I was coming in to see you two. But what do you call it? I was sitting there and I said, I know, I've got a good fucking PR idea here. I said, I think it was the 1st of May at the time, or some April or whatever. And I was like, if I hit 100,000 followers and then I gave a date that was about 40 days out, maybe 30 days, I said I'm going to give away my car, and everyone lost their shit. When I put the post out, within about an hour, it was going out on the Sun newspaper, Dublin Live, fucking everything you can think of. Journalists ringing off the hook. I was on RTE talking about it. What do you mean, Martin? Like, what do you mean? Nobody could understand it.
Yeah.
And I said, it's very simple. I said, 100,000 friends or followers or eyeballs is worth far more than my 20 grand car.
Yeah.
I will turn that attention
the money
into hundreds of thousands, if not more. So it's a no-brainer for me. If I hit the number, then I'm happy. I'll hand over the keys. I told what was her name? Miriam O'Callaghan, I think it was something like. No, sorry, it was the other one. But anyway, I told her. I says, I'm not bullshitting. I says, if I hit that, I'm gonna have a big ceremony and hand over the keys. And I swear on the Bible, I would have. It was any one of the followers who followed and followed the competition rules, which was just 3 simple steps or something. And I would have 100%.
So you heard that now. If we get 1,000 followers, Shane's car is gone. Any lucky follower.
It's a 1974 Volvo Express.
Straight from Smith's.
Good
PR stunt.
Yeah, it worked. It did. It worked.
Was the following big?
It was ballsy. It was a good few thousand anyway. It was nothing close to 100. But
you probably knew that, did you? You probably had an idea.
I knew it was a good chance it wouldn't, and I knew either way I couldn't lose because if I hit it,
you're gaining. And if you don't,
if I didn't hit it, I've got a load of free followers and a massive amount. The publicity I got was madness. And I got to keep the car as well, which was a bonus, But there was a few people cursing me for that, Yeah, fucking prick, you knew what you were doing. Don't blame me for being smart, you know what I mean?
Like, it's not my fault I didn't reset.
I put it out there, and that's what happened.
If you didn't want to win the car, you should be getting your auntie and uncle to share and follow me page.
Exactly.
But it does. You're going to have everybody sharing cars tomorrow now, watch. Nissan.
I'll be giving away their cars, 100%. Yeah.
You like travelling, don't you?
I love travelling.
You're around everywhere,
always around. Yeah, always around. There's actually, I don't think there's that, and I like more than travelling, apart from the old. But I'm just joking.
Who doesn't?
I hope my ma's not watching this. Sorry, ma. I'm only messing.
He's serious. After we won.
But there's nothing I love more than travelling, man. Nothing I love more. Back in 2021. Me and me mate in Glinda, he says to me, I'm going over to Dubai for a week or two, and at this stage I just built a bleeding €40,000 apartment down my ma's back garden. And I said to Glinda, initially I said, we'd go. It was during all the COVID shite, and we used to meet up every Sunday in St. Stephen's Green Park for coffees and business chats and all that sort of shit. And initially I told him I'd go, then I changed my mind, and I was coming back from Lidl. There are many other good shopping centres available. and I was unpacking my shopping for the week, right? And I only moved into this apartment for about fucking 2 weeks or something. And as I never forget, as I was putting the cornflakes in the press, I said, fuck it, I'm going. And I walked over to my desk, which was like 6 steps across the room, booked a one-way flight to Dubai that left in like the next day in a matter of hours, packed me bags, went into me ma and dad, how are you? I'm heading off now, I'm going to Dubai, see you later. And then after being there for about 10 days, me and Glinda, I turned around to him. We were heading into a meeting with a bunch of investors, and just before we went, he says, I love this place, and he said, I love this place as well. And then I said, well, look, let's just move here for the whole summer. So we just didn't end up going home, we just stayed there. We stayed there for 5 months or something. Eventually came back to Ireland, and now I was only coming back for my birthday to Ireland, but then I ended up meeting the love of my life, you know what I mean, back here. So
you're playing again now, isn't he?
So
I'm on the way home, and then the love of my life.
I ended up set. You like that?
He's playing again there.
So that's what ended up happening, and I ended up not moving back to Dubai full time, but back and forth the whole time, and there's nothing better than travelling, and Dubai is the spot to be, by the way. Yeah, anyone's looking for a great place.
Like we have friends that go and come back from there, and people and living there also, and apparently even I think your mentality grows out there as well, because everybody's business orientated over in Dubai.
100%. For me, Dubai is my favourite place in the world that I've been to so far.
Over Vegas and everything.
Everything, New York, everything. I never thought anything would beat New York for me. That was the place for me. But no, Dubai is my favourite place in the whole world. There's a few good things about Dubai. First of all, everyone like you meet is an interesting person. They're there for a reason. They're doing interesting things. It's very good. Number two is there's close to zero crime.
Yeah, you can leave your car
you're 100%
open.
safe. So for instance, I'd be oftentimes working at the coffee shop in the shopping mall there, a place called the Coffee Club in Dubai Marina, and you'd leave the laptop, the Rolex, cash, phone, everything. Walk to the toilet, come back a half an hour later. It's all still there, and probably with more. You know what I mean? Yeah. No one will touch anything. There's also no homelessness in Dubai. I know that's a huge problem we have in Ireland at the moment. So sad to see. That doesn't exist in Dubai. And also it's a great place to do business. It's and it's a great place to work. Even it's 0% income tax over there as well. That's so and not to mention it's the most beautiful place you'll ever see in your whole entire life. It's unbelievable. It's just being there makes you happy. Like so that's it. I'm back there in about 3 weeks' time. As soon as I get back from Brazil, I'm flying over to Dubai, and I'm going to be out there for a while. So I'm looking forward to that because it's a great place. Yeah,
that's all I keep saying. I'm going to travel out there at one stage because there's a lot of fitness things going on out there.
That's right.
Yeah, so 100%. I want to try to get out and experience and learn over there.
Well, I can link up with a few people over there, and anyway, I know a lot of people in Dubai. Yeah, 100%.
What do you do to wind down? Like what? I know travelling is probably one of them, but what? Travelling, what's
what you want?
Do
you know what I love, right?
Sex and I want.
Oh God, I'm going to be better for this when I go home.
Just say you love her again. To love your life.
Love you, baby.
That's why I know.
My Gabriella. But what was I going to say? Where was I going with this?
Sex and I want now.
Going home with a curdy on the road. I really hope my man's not listening to this.
We were talking about business in the boy.
Yeah, you were talking about
business in the boy.
Yes,
and then what be your wind down?
Oh, wind down. Yeah, sorry. That was it. So I am fascinated with. I binge on true crime programs on YouTube, particularly. My favourite is Mr. Ballin. He tells like true crime stories. So I watch his videos. I listen to his podcast. Really, just fascinated with true crime. I'm really interested in air crash investigations and things like that as well. And so those are my two kind of non-business interests. And then I'm always interested in like business podcasts and all that sort of shit, you know. So yeah, man, I love. Do you know what I love? Like, you could sit me there, like sometimes a coffee.
Yeah.
Would just make me so happy. Like when I walked in here, and fair play to you boys, just had a coffee there. It was an unexpected treat. That made me so happy.
It's all I can get in that one.
Forget about it. But like simple things in life, you know, simple things in life like coffee, books, learning, improving, positivity. Really, I love positivity. Shit like that. I really do. You know, I try to stay away from negativity as much as I possibly can, you know.
That really reminds me down actually all them motivation quotes on say TikTok, Instagram or no, do you ever see the small stories they have on the TikTok or something?
Yeah,
it's cool. Find them, it's kind of you relate to different things and it kind of winds you down. So say if you're having a hard day saying I'm not making enough money or whatever, but you're seeing then people that's in worst basic circumstances and that happy and all, that the looks of that kind of humbles you and makes you understand.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I mean, it's easy to think when you live in a place like, you know, Dublin, and you know, you see a lot of things on social media and people are saying, I'm making a fortune and blah blah blah, but you don't hear too much about their struggles. And then you look to other countries where people are living on, you know, 25 cents a day, and then you realise, hang on a minute, I'm fucking rich here.
Doing well.
25 cents a week, sorry, in some place. You know, but the best thing is here you have the opportunity, you know, you have an opportunity to create whatever you want. But I agree with what you're saying there about the, you know, that's all good stuff.
But as you were saying, the boy, you can leave a car open and everything else. You can do the same here as well, though. but you get back the inside of the car.
Forget about it.
You get back the inside of the car's clean, nothing's in it.
Listen, it happened to me before. In Dublin, and it wouldn't happen in Dubai, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy way it happens in Dubai, that the fact that there literally is.
They won't be taking any of that.
And another thing I heard, is it true that the person that's from Dubai gets paid more? Say they're doing the same job as someone that's a foreign national, they get paid more because they're from Dubai?
My experience of it is that it seems that people with quote-unquote better passports get paid more. Now, I'm not talking about the government agencies per se, I'm talking about a lot of the private companies and stuff like that. So, for instance, you could have someone with a European passport, say, or a UK passport, getting paid a lot more than someone with a Philippine passport, for instance. So, and I personally don't think that's a great thing at all. And that's not down to the Dubai government, alhamdulillah. That's down to private companies. So you know what I mean. So yeah, that's just one thing, But I mean, if you're coming from a place like Gordon, you're going to get paid a lot more. It's also 0% tax. But listen, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, one of the biggest challenges about, say, living in Ireland is the fucking weather. It's very depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it can get you down. Those cold, grey days.
Of the year, you don't know about
yeah.
Probably 2 weeks if you're
for someone like I think... Stop. People have been killing me here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's it. And I couldn't imagine not doing that now. Like, having the experience, thank God, and I was blessed to be able to have the experience to live in Dubai. Waking up every day when the sun is shining makes such a difference to your mental health. It's unbelievable.
Sure, we all do. You go to Lanzarote, you go out your bank and like, I'm moving here, and then you realise, no, and I go home.
But the reality is, though, you can move there. You can. Anyone listening to this, you make a decision, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gone. See you over there next month. And I mean, look, I have to be honest. Like, it might not be a popular opinion, but in my opinion, there's a better quality of life in other places with sunshine. Not all the places, but in some places like Dubai, my personal experience is the quality of life is, I think, 90% better. So
how big is your team?
So it fluctuates depending on the season. So we have busier times than others. So for instance, the summer is absolutely mental. It's chaos, right? So you could have around about 20 people, I'd say. And that's made up of people who are operations staff, setting up marquees, decorating venues, DJs, photographers, videographers. One of the most main things I'm proud of is that my sister, Kayla, she was working a job she hated in a hotel. And she told me, I fucking hate this job, Martin, blah, blah, blah. I says, look, you can work for me for 20 hours a week here remotely. And I gave her that job while I was living in Dubai, and she flew it. She was doing so good. And then in 2022, I said, right, we're off to a winner. I said, you can work with me full time, and she was thrilled. She handed in her notice the next day. She works with me to this day now full time, and she works remotely. And she constantly tells me, like, several times a week, I love my job. She doesn't even think it's a job,
make you so proud, though,
and it does make me proud. It makes me happy. She makes a lot of money.
No more pay rises.
Yeah. I know. In fairness, we have a commission structure on top of her salary, and she's a super salesperson. Like, she smashes the sales. Everyone loves her. The customers love her.
Confidence as you.
Oh yeah. When she started in the business, she didn't have a clue about anything. I taught her everything from the start, and then she taught herself a lot, and now she just, like, everything comes through like that.
Clockwork.
She's like my right hand man. I'd be completely lost without her. She completely runs that side of the business. Then I have my dad who totally runs the operations side of the business, and I've other people who I probably won't mention in case they're on the scratcher. You know who I'm talking about, kid. You know, but I won't mention. It's not my business. Those are contractors, self-employed.
Private companies.
Oh yeah, well, my boss.
All that shit they done last
Don't
week.
cut me, you're funny nothing. But yeah, so it is very much. It does a lot of a focus on family and close family friends as well. And when you see people, like, for instance, like, say, family members, you earned, say, whatever, fucking 1,000 this week, you earned 500, you earned 300, whatever, and your family is, like, using that for go on holidays or buy things, and that makes you proud, because you're like, you've not only created an opportunity for yourself, but you've also created an opportunity for your family. So that is one thing I'm proud of. I don't think about it as often as I probably should, but that is one thing I actually am proud of.
The main thing for me that if I was down like the business,
Yeah, I think that one of the things I'm proud of, and unfortunately I haven't done it in the last few years, but I am going to get back to it. I did do a lot on social media, like you guys are sort of starting out your podcast journey here, and I was a positive voice on there and spreading positivity and hope for people, and I used to get a lot of messages from people just thanking me for that hope, and it meant a lot to them, more than I had actually realised. So I'm going to try and get back onto that now, and even now you guys are going to end up doing the same thing now.
Yeah, sure. You know? Even we've been getting messages, from people, like even we only have a small following, but random people that you wouldn't even know texting your number saying, like, oh, I love you, that podcast. And
that's amazing.
Like, it's a small percentage that watch it, you're happy to
100%
to enjoy it.
Like it's just incredible to think that you can sit here or somewhere else and create content and actually make an impact in someone's life, you know. You don't know what people are going through. That's the thing. Like people go through a lot, man. A lot of fucking shit, like, you know.
And everyone, that's what the thing is. Everybody has problems, but just some hide about than others.
100%.
That's the main thing of it. So
100%.
That's why when people are listening to stories, they can relate, whether it's gambling, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's creating companies yourself.
Yeah,
like
100%.
That's why all different stories are very good to have.
And they need positive voices to be, you know, behind them or whatever. So if anyone's listening to this and you need help or advice, I'm sure they can contact either three of us here, and we'll try and support you in whatever way we can.
Definitely.
But that's what it's all about.
And we were only saying before we go, the last thing. Yeah, his dad's a sound. He's a United fan, his dad's a Liverpool fan. I'm just throwing that in there. He let his dad down.
Hang on.
That's a word from Billy.
Before we get off the bill, that fella, right? He used to be a United fan, and then his cousin Ronnie Whelan started playing for Liverpool, and he jumped ship. So he's the traitor, not me. Alright, Bill, I'm coming for you, Dad.
Billy, again, the tag as well.
Tag the Bill. He's not even on Instagram.
No, he's not even on it. I only had to give away West Ham tickets. I had to do me dad, him, and Christy. Yeah, three of them.
No way.
I was in work, I couldn't get it off. That's about 9 to 5 being remotely. I couldn't get it off. The first was on holidays, and I was handing out the tickets. Me dad, you, Billy, and Christy have a great time.
No, I'd be fuming. I'd be fuming. I would.
Well, thanks very much for coming, Martin.
And pleasure, boys. Thanks a lot.
A good podcast.
Great insight into how you
building a business.
Thanks a lot, boys. I appreciate it. It was great.
Really appreciate it.
That's episode 8, and that's a wrap. See you all next week. Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to this podcast.